Hello, thank you for joining me for this video. This video is going to be completely different to anything I've ever done before because at the risk of being ridiculed, I'm going to share a couple of personal experiences with you. The question is, and the question I've got for you is, are these near-death experiences?
Ghost Hunter Wales.
Now please guys, I would really appreciate your comments and ideas on what I'm about to tell you and what you think of it. I'm going to start off by going back about 5 years when I had no illness. As far as I was concerned, I was nice and fit and everything was hunky-dory. But that wasn't the case. I'd been to the doctors on 3 or 4 occasions with different things, but I was just treated for those conditions and no diagnosis was actually come about until I got really ill. I know that it was a Thursday night, I remember it very well. I was very ill and so I got myself into the doctor's first thing in the morning and I saw my regular doctor and he diagnosed me straight away with type 2 diabetes, having checked my bloods. I was actually on the verge or very close to going into a diabetic coma. So he immediately called for an ambulance. I was taken straight into hospital where I remained for 4 days while they got my blood sugars under control. Anyway, in the time leading up to this episode, during it, and for a short time afterwards, I was experiencing something I can't explain. And even to this day, I can't really explain it. I've never experienced it before. And this happened when I closed my eyes. I would see images, I would see faces, I would see people. Sometimes they were black and white, sometimes they were in colour. They weren't scary. In fact, in a funny sort of way, they were quite welcoming. And I should stress that I was not asleep. I was not dreaming. Wide awake. Close my eyes, I see these images. I'm not under any medication that could cause me to have hallucinations, so I'm not hallucinating. If I had an image I didn't like, all I had to do was open my eyes. Close them again, I'd get a new image. I never recognised any of the people in these images. As I said, sometimes they were just faces, sometimes they were whole beings. And to be honest, at the time I didn't know what to make of it. It wasn't frightening, it didn't scare me. I just couldn't explain why this was happening. And this was happening for, I would say, about a month before I went to the doctors on that Friday morning. It continued while I was in the hospital, and it continued for a few days when I came out of hospital, and then the images stopped. And obviously I went to Google. I was looking for an answer for this. I wanted to know what it was. And all I could find on Google was it was suggested that I was developing my third eye. If that was the case, I think I'd still be seeing these faces now. So I don't think it's the case I was developing my third eye. And the only explanation I can come up with is that these beings, these faces, these people were spirits and they were waiting to welcome me to the other side because I was on my way there. If any of you have experienced this, or know somebody that's experienced this, or know what it could be, please do comment, let me know, because I would really love to find an answer for this. Anyway, so the images stopped, I didn't get any more. That was until I went into hospital recently to have cancer removed from my neck and my thyroid. The images started again. Now, before I go into that, let me point out that just before Christmas of last year, about October, I went into hospital to have cancer removed from this side of the area. And for that, it was an 8-hour operation. It was 4 days in hospital. And at the point of going for the surgery, I only had 3 months to live. But I never saw any faces. I never saw any people. I didn't suffer these images. So that suggests to me that 3 months is not close enough to death to see these images. Whereas when I went in for this, for my cancer of the throat and the thyroid, I've not been able to get an exact figure on it from the surgeon or any of the doctors as of yet. I'm working on it, but I think it was very close. I don't even think we were talking weeks, I think we were talking days. I'll just explain. I'd been ill for about 3 months. I'd seen more doctors in that time that I've seen in the last 5 years. I had an ambulance. I had 2 short stays in hospital. I had a day in the emergency daycare centre. I had at least 2 out-of-hours appointments for the out-of-hours surgery. And nobody could give me a diagnosis. So my condition went undiagnosed, the same as in the case with my diabetes. There was no diagnosis. So the situation was getting worse, the condition was getting worse, there was no treatment. That was until I saw a different doctor. And it was this doctor that sent me to the emergency daycare centre because she suspected a thyroid problem. And she also referred me to the thyroid surgeon. My appointment with the thyroid surgeon was quick. I think it was just over a week before I saw him. He wanted to get me in for surgery without delay. He fast-tracked me and I was in for surgery, I think in as little as 2 weeks to have this operation. But again, in the time leading up to the surgery, during my stay in hospital and for a few days afterwards, I was seeing these images again. I would see faces, I would see full figures, sometimes shapes, sometimes colours. This time, the figures were in a little bit more detail. There were black people, there was white people, there was people with red hair, people with black hair, people with fair hair, tall people, short people, dead people, people that were seriously ill, that seriously had health issues, whilst others were happy and smiling, and it was all different, and the colours of the clothing varied, but red was a prominent colour. I saw red more than any other colour. I don't know if that has any meaning, but I saw a lot of red. There was one occasion where I just had a red wall. I closed my eyes and there's a red wall. No figures, just a red wall. And there was another occasion where I had the sky with white fluffy clouds, just as if I was looking out of the window, nothing else. And again, I will stress, I was not asleep, I was not dreaming, I was wide awake. All I had to do was close my eyes and I could see these images. No drugs that could cause me to hallucinate. I was not on any drugs that would cause me to hallucinate, so I was not hallucinating. And another thing that's worth mentioning, if I put my hand over my eyes, all I saw was darkness. It was only if I closed my eyes that I saw these images. And I say, this time round the images were clearer. And I still feel that these were images in the spirit world and they were ready to welcome me to the other side. Do you agree with this? Have you got another idea? Do you think I'm bonkers? Whatever, comment down below and let me know. I decided to make this video while I was still in the hospital and while I was still seeing these images, and the plan was for me to sit here as we are now, for me to close my eyes and for me to describe to you what I'm seeing. But I can't do that. I'm not getting the images anymore. So as much as I would have loved to have done that, it probably would have made it a lot more interesting. I could no longer do that because the images stopped within 2 or 3 days of me coming out of the hospital. So anyway, is it a near-death experience? With the cancer up here, I had 3 months to live, but no images. When I was on the verge of a diabetic coma, I don't know what the time scale is with that, I had these images. And with this cancer here, when I think I was probably days away from death, I had these images. So to me, I'm convinced that these images are spirits in spirit world and they were there to welcome me to the other side. I mean, we've all heard tales where somebody's been floating above their body during an operation because they've died and been brought back to life. Now, if we are to believe those, then you've got to think, well, yeah, there is something after death. And again, with these images that I see, obviously they're not the same as floating above your body, but to me, I see them as a near-death experience. The question is, do you agree? Can you offer another explanation? Do you have any ideas? Comment down below, please. Okay, so with that, I can't think of anything else to add. I don't think I've missed anything out. I think I've explained it the best I possibly can. And I'm just hoping that one of you out there, at least, can throw some light on it. Have you experienced it yourself? Do you know anybody that has? Can you offer a solution other than the third eye thing? The third eye made sense to me at the time, but once the images stopped, that no longer made sense to me. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to wrap this video up. I don't want to drag it on for too long. I'm going to thank you for watching, and I'll thank you in advance for commenting and giving me your opinions and ideas. I assure you I'm not crazy. I was not hallucinating. I'm not on any drugs that could have caused this. I just wish that I could have done it the way I wanted to, close my eyes and describe to you exactly what I'm seeing. I mean, the images are so clear, I could describe them to you now. They were so clear. So down to the clothes that they wore. Some were just in white gowns. Some were clearly dead. There's no doubt about that. Some of them were dead bodies. Others were happy and smiling, and you know, some were expressionless. It varied. Tall, short, fat, thin, black, white. As I say, it really varied. But I could see them vividly and really clearly. No sound. It was like a silent movie. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up at that. Please comment. Let me know what you think. I thank you for watching. I am on the mend. Hopefully we will be back with some ghost hunting. Serious ghost hunting. Really soon. We are due to go back to the flat where we filmed out My Bed Is Haunted. Hopefully that will happen very soon. And I also hope to get back on Exploration Wales with my son Paul, and we'll go out and do some explorations as well. If you've not seen Exploration Wales, go and take a look, and we will see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.